Alright, what's up, people? So, this video, I'm going to be giving my second opinion or secondary thoughts or second thoughts about this book, The Novem Portis, by one Mr. Joshua Free, and perhaps other people helped him. I don't know. So, what I said in the last video, again, that was preliminary. That was like me, like reading a little bit and not, really reflecting. So, I got a little bit further, and this is going to be the only video I'm going to make on this to this point. I have too many, irons in the fire is what do they say? I'm working with too much right now, so I'm still going to be doing. I'm going to still be alternating, but this is just I'm not, I'm not going to be making constant videos about certain things. So. Now, what I think this is, if I had to give an analogy to this book, what I would say is, if you take Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible, and then you do the colon, and then you do Michael Aquino's Satanic Bible Reimagined, and then you do the double colon, right? And you would do the Simonomicon, and then you would do colon, and then you would do this book. So A is to B is meta as C is to D. So I think this is basically, so if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Free basically says that he understands that the Simonomicon is the parts of it that are said to be an actual translation from some ancient grimoire. He admits that that's basically made up. And everybody knows this. You know what I mean? This is no giant secret. But then what he says, if you really want to make something up, I got some news for you. And the way he does it is, he's basically critical of basically Peter Levenda, let's just call Simon by his real name, was overly reliant on Sumerian texts rather than purely Babylonian texts. And remember, Babylon came after Sumer. So it's like you had the old guard and then you had the new guard. Hundreds or maybe thousands years later. I'm not even sure on the timelines. And I hope the Anunnaki do not blot me out for, my ignorance. But he's real big into the Anunnaki. But I think what ultimately his, how should I put this, theology, I guess you would say, or like his magical system or his ultimate philosophy, however you want to put it, I think that his system magically is designed to do something like, he believes that there is a kind of like another universe that's differently oriented than this one, and that there are gates that can take you to that place or bring something back from that place. So this is what's commonly called gate walking, and pretty much every magical system on Earth uses some form of this technology. I mean, they just differ over, how many gates there are and where they go and how you open them. Which is actually like the, closer to the Latin, Novem Portis, 9 portals. I think that just sounds better. And it's closer to the Latin. So, but yeah, this is a very interesting, from what I've seen so far, he's trying to reconstruct what he thinks the author of the Necronomicon, that would be Peter Levenda, by the way, was trying to communicate through this whole gate walking system. And like I said, he's just regurgitating shit that's been done from time immemorial. Ask a shaman a real one, Tom, a real shaman, not these fake motherfuckers. Ask a real shaman what gate walking is. They'll tell you to shut up. That's not for you. I'm kidding. They wouldn't say that. I don't know what they'd say because I've never asked one. I didn't have to. And I've never met a real shaman. They're over there in fucking Europe, somewhere in the mountains. You can't find those motherfuckers. But no, seriously, I mean, I think this book is. I wouldn't pay what I paid for it if I knew I paid that much for it. But if you can find a version of it online or something like that, I think he's got a very interesting. It's like I said, it's a comic book. It's like, like one of my favorite characters in Marvel Comics is a character called Dormammu, and he's like the ultimate magical being, but he exists on another plane of existence. And so you'll read comics. He's mostly an adversary of Doctor Strange. So you'll read comics where the writer basically gives him unlimited power, like he's beyond her level power. And then you read other comic books where Doctor Strange, who's just the Sorcerer Supreme, and this is basically like a divine being from another realm of dimensions of existence, and Doctor Strange will like hex him and fucking like control him. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's kind of the way this type of stuff works. It's like whatever the writer or the author of the comic book is trying to get across. If it's fun, if it's a good story, you can change certain characters. You can make certain things be real that aren't, or make things not be real that are. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, just keep in mind, it's a comic book.